Today on the channel, we've got Legacy United Origin Wheeljack on the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? The way I got it figured back with another Transformers Legacy United review. This time we're looking at Origin Wheeljack. This is a Target exclusive figure. I got mine from Hasbro Pulse though. It came out middle of last month, and I wanted to get the video up. This one's gonna have a stop motion, no fears there. But finally getting around to it, so we're gonna get into it. Obviously, we're gonna go over the packaging, get the figure out, convert it, look at both modes, get you out of here with some final thoughts. Starting with the packaging, you've got Wheeljack in here, and he is a Voyager class figure, but he's a deluxe size figure, so we'll see how that works when we get him out. Nice little drawing there of him, rendering of him in his vehicle mode. Cool Marcelo Mater artwork on the side. Nice close up of Wheeljack. So just a bigger version of the smaller one, but it's a good picture. Like it. On the back, you've got Wheeljack in both modes with some play features. He's got his deflector shield. You can stick Origin Bumblebee inside of him. And of course, he converts in 32 steps. Very cool. Of course, he's part of Transformers 40th anniversary. And there is your artwork for Legacy United. Half of it. I guess the quote-unquote Autobot half. There's very few Decepticons in Legacy, which I actually kind of find to be a little bit of a bug. But what can you do? So let's look at the packaging. We're going to get Wheeljack out and see what we can see. Alright, so we've got Wheeljack out of the package with his stuff. All the stuff he comes with. It comes with a couple of accessories. So you've got his little blades that he used in the first episode of Transformers for his vehicle mode. There might be some component you can do with them as a robot. He's got his ever-present shoulder rocket, which of course you can kind of put in his hand or on his shoulder, of course. And of course it does take blast effects. So go there. And I guess what the kind of gimmick is, if you want to do that, you can stick that on there. Maybe you can use that as like the magnetic disc mine or something that he fires. This also takes a blast effect. You got that. And then finally you have his deflector shield, which you can stick on the front of him. You can also like sort of wear it on his back like a wing. I'm not going to do that. It looks absurd to me. So I'm not going to do that. But You can also use it kind of as like part of the road for the vehicle mode to ride on. We'll probably take a look at that. As far as Wheeljack himself, besides being somewhat on the chunky side, it's a good rendition. He does have a lot of kibble, which a lot of Transformers fans, they don't care for kibble. I personally don't really care. As long as the figure functions, I'm good. I understand the engineering challenges a little bit better than some people, I suppose. Obviously, I would like one that didn't have any kibble, but this is the best we can get with the current technology at the price point that we're paying. So, not a lot to complain about. He does have pretty good articulation. Still got all the swivels that you need on the arms, the shoulders, kicks, leg swivels, obviously knee bend. You can actually do a pretty good pose with him for robot mode. For being kind of a chonky guy, he is not going to be winning any athletic awards. Let's see. Yeah, his backpack is definitely going to cause balance issues, so you're not going to be doing a whole lot of crazy standing poses with him. But he does look pretty good, and a lot of people will probably primarily keep him in vehicle mode. Some people do that with the other ones, Bumblebee and Jazz. They did, Origin, Bumblebee, Jazz, now Wheeljack. But he's not terrible, and Wheeljack does have the distinction of being the first Transformer ever to be shown on the show. He is not, as some people claim, the first Transformer ever shown in animation. He's not. For one thing, there's an intro. For another thing, there were comic book commercials before the show even aired. The first Transformers you actually ever see are Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream, followed by Prowl, Jazz, and Sideswipe in that order. But he is the first person you see on the show, second person being Bumblebee, and that is something. So we're going to get old Wheeljack converted in his 32 steps and check out his vehicle mode. Here is Wheeljack in his vehicle mode, kind of like a Cybertronian minivan or something like that, with a spoiler on top, and definitely looks sort of like it's right out of the show. It's very cool. It's almost like a tent, like all the other Origin bots. It does not have wheels. There are no wheels anywhere on it. So it's just supposed to be sort of hovering above the ground, but you kind of got these things here to keep it aloft in a sense. It looks very cool. Looks like the vehicle from the show. It is, of course, exceedingly tabby, exceedingly foldy. I don't want to call it difficult, but lining everything up is a little bit of a challenge, especially if you want to use any of the play features. So, you know, for example, you can open up the top, put down a ramp, and by doing so, if you look in there, his waist is not like 100% straight, which only sort of adds to the difficulty of getting him lined up. But you know, it works well enough. So with the ramp and everything, you can bring in Origin Bumblebee, but you can house Bumblebee on the inside, tab everything back down, and Bumblebee is riding inside Wheeljack. So, you know, it's a very cute bit of engineering. I do like it, like the idea. You know, you want to mimic that play pattern. Additionally, of course, you have the high density conductors that came with Origin Bumblebee. Well, they were conductors, but I call them high density conductors, and you'll see why in a bit. And you can just sort of stick them in these grooves on Wheeljack, which kind of makes sense now why Origin Bumblebee came with 5 of these. So you can sort of store them on the side. You can, you know, escape the Decepticons. And of course you have his whirly gigs. That he used to ram down the Decepticons in that scene, the opening scene. It's very cool, very nostalgic, and it's something that I don't think many of us ever thought we would get. But that's about it. I think I covered everything with this. So, you know, that's your vehicle mode. We'll get Wheeljack transformed back into robot mode and move on to final thoughts. I forgot to demonstrate the blast shield. That's the other play feature that the vehicle mode has. Wheeljack comes with this blast shield. You can, you know, just sort of stick it on them. And it actually comes upside down. You have to change it around to get it to be the blast shield. So like it comes as like a little road from the ride on, which I did say I would demonstrate. But you have to take these parts off in order to do that. And rearrange them into the blast shield. But I definitely wanted to show the blast shield in operation. And that's kind of how you just sit it on the vehicle. Works pretty good. All right, so for comparisons, we have got the obvious Origin Bumblebee. Got to bring him in. And we've got Origin Jazz. As you can see, he's pretty well scaled with Jazz, about the same size, deluxe size figure. And then, here's what we'll do. There. Finally, you always have to have the standard bearer for scale. So we've got Siege Optimus Prime, which stands at the same height as Earthrise Optimus Prime. So you kind of can see how they're going with the rest of the line, and you know everything lines up pretty good. Look good together. You know, Bumblebee has the kibble. I like the figure in vehicle mode. He didn't get. I guess I did a review on him. I can't even remember if I did a review on this figure. That's kind of crazy. He certainly came out after I was doing reviews. So I don't know. I have to check. Did I do a review on this figure? Somebody tell me in the comments. I don't remember doing it. Which is weird. But there you go. And Bumblebee, of course, was marketed as a War for Cybertron figure on the package. So he definitely goes along with Optimus. I would assume the rest of them too, because they're legacy and it's all just a continuation. Well, there you go. That's your comparisons. Now we're going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Transformers Legacy United Origin Wheeljack. I gotta say, this is a really fun figure. They really did a great job with it. You know, the only kind of flaw is that you have a lot of kibble because of the, you know, the transformation. It's impossible to make it look exactly like, you know, cartoon Wheeljack in robot mode if he's going to turn into essentially a giant box. I'm not going to dock the figure because of that, because he has so much play value. It more than makes up for all of that. In the stop motions that I did for this, you know, I got to use all of the features of the toy, and you know, it was really fun to play with him. So, you know, at the end of the day, while most toy collectors, while we mostly display our toys, this is a really bang up job by Hasbro, giving us something awesome to play with. So for that reason, I'm actually going to give Wheeljack a 10 out of 10. It's a great figure, every bit as good as Origin Jazz, and yeah, I'm giving him a 10. So that's going to do it for this one. Please enjoy the stop motion I did for this at the end. Unfortunately, it's not going to have any sound because just the time it took for me to do it, to do all the different scenes and everything like that. And I'm not even going to put all of what I shot is not even going to be in here. But you will see it again with sounds and hopefully with voices. So until the next video, everybody stay safe. See you on the next one. Peace.
The way I got it figured.